Hey coaches, for this video I'm going to talk to you about our cool down. So when we go into our cool down stretches, we know that they're not full static stretches. Obviously if we're doing a true static stretch, they would hold it for about 30 seconds. We're really kind of making this more of a moving flow, a very slow kind of like a pausing flow. So basically, coaches, when you're running this, you can use a stopwatch, you can watch the clock, and then as you've done this one more time, so you kind of just get this internal clock in your head. But basically, we're going to hold each stretch for between 10 and 12 seconds. So again, at 10 seconds, it's still going to take us almost 3.5 minutes to get through all these stretches. So again, coach, we just kind of want to keep listening to the clock in our head, or like I said, watching the stopwatch. And every 10 to 12 seconds, we're switching to that next move. So you just called one, so we start off with that butterfly stretch. And, all right, everybody, grab the floor, we do that butterfly stretch, and you walk them through it. I'm going to do this a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through those, but I'm going to talk to you what we're shooting for and kind of what they should look like and kind of how and what we're trying to do with each one. So again, we start off with, all right, great job, guys. Everybody just grab some floor space. Let's stretch it out. We're going to start off with that butterfly stretch. So grab that floor space, bring those feet together. We're going to press on those knees with those elbows. So again, in this stretch, guys, the big keys, we're going to stretch those inner thighs, the start of that hip flexor and everything around those hips. Again, a more flexible person can put a little bit of pressure on those knees, bring those knees a little closer to the floor. And then they want to get into a little forward lean. That's also fine. We're going to add a little bit of lower back in that. But we just hold this stretch for about those 10 to 12 seconds. Then, all right, guys, let's kick one leg out and reach for that toe. So now when we go into this one, again, I'm just going to call it out like that, but the big thing we're kind of looking for is we want to stretch the hamstring. So we're going to pivot at that waist, kind of leaning into it. And the key here is ideally, we're going to try to keep them so that they're leaning into it with the hamstring stretching versus the lower back. So again, I can go deeper if I round my back into this, but then the focus becomes the lower back. So kind of chest up and lean into it. Again, they would hold this for those 10 to 12 seconds. All right, guys, switch legs, kick out that other leg, reach for that toe. Again, kind of keep that chest up and lean into it. Really see if you can keep that hamstring on the floor, keep that knee down so you can really stretch that hamstring. Should be your primary focus here. Again, we would hold that. Once we've gone through that, the next one would be that huggers. So from this, we're like, all right, guys, you can hug it up or set that ankle on that knee. So again, they would have the option for those who want to. They can roll back and hug it up or hug it here. Or most people are going to put on the knee and pull it in. And then again, you can get some bonus stretching here if they simply turn their fingers out and pull those shoulders back so they get that stretch. But the big key here is what we're trying to, again, not be in this slouch position. They should kind of have that chest puffed up and lean into it. The areas we're really targeting with that hug up stretch is where the glute and hamstring tie in together. So that, again, where they should feel it. If they're choosing for this option, they pull those shoulders back. Like I said, they will get a bonus stretch across the shoulder. So a lot of times when I'm cute, I'm like, all right, guys, again, we're going to hug it up or set that ankle on that knee, pull those fingers back and pull those shoulders back so we get a little bit of stretch in the shoulders, and then puff up that chest and lean into it so we can feel that glute hamstring. They would hold this again for that, 10, 12 seconds. All right, guys, switch sides, same thing, and hug it up or set that ankle on that knee, point those fingers back and pull those shoulders back, lean into it. And the things you'll watch, again, some of the clients are going to be in the strong position, but ideally trying to, again, force that core to stay engaged enough to keep that spine straight versus in that hunched over position. Hold that. Then we're going to be, all right, let's stretch out those quads and hip flexors. We're going to roll onto our side, grab that shoe, pull it towards our butt. So again, a couple keys here on this one. The big goal here is to stretch that quad, and this one's keeping that shoe closer to that butt. For people, especially in a lot of hip flexor work, some people that have to really tight higher up in the quad into that hip flexor, they may pull their knee back a little bit further. That will move the stretch up just a little bit higher. But again, somewhere right behind that knee, hold that for those 10 to 12 seconds. All right, guys, let's flip it over. Other side, just flipping over. Grab that shoe, pull it towards our butt. Again, stretching out that quad. Again, pull that up. And then here are the two new ones we've added in for that lower back. All right, guys. And we're going to stretch out that lower back, so everybody's going to lie flat on the floor. You're going to grab both knees and hug them to your chest, gently rounding your butt off the floor. So basically just kind of hugging or pulling those knees towards your chest or towards your chin. Gently stretch out the lower back. So our focus on this one here, again, is kind of rounding those hips to stretch that lower back, but from the lower side versus where we stretch it from the top and we're bent over on the shoulders. So kind of, just again, I can control this. It should just be a gentle stretch of the lower back. Many times when we've worked, RDLs or burpees or things where we've been in that hinging pattern in the lower back from working, we just want to gently stretch that back out. Then from here, guys, I'm going to have you kick one leg all the way out straight. You're going to cross the other leg over, so I'm going to put that foot kind of right over that knee. I'm going to gently pull on that knee over to the side, and I'm going to open up my other hand towards the shoulder. Again, this should be a gentle stretch lower back. It should not be, I'm going to wrench and see if I can get my back to crack or how hard I can make it. Again, the goal here is just to stretch out the lower back, and really what we're looking for is to start working in that sling pattern. So we're basically stretching everything kind of diagonally across the body. So from this shoulder all the way to that opposite, by kind of just twisting through it, I get some lower back stretching. I get a little bit of bonus stretch in that glute medius. hold that, then just switch sides, guys. So kick that other leg out, cross that leg over. Again, grab that knee, kind of gently pull it to the side, open up. And just some things for us to know as coaches on that one. Again, several people might do this a little different depending on what their lower back and hip flexibility is. Again, maybe a more deconditioned client might end up where it ends up looking more like this, where they don't straighten that leg all the way over, just kind of stay a little crunched in on that. Or even they may have, this would be that modification if you had a really deconditioned client who told you that was struggling, would just be to take both and just kind of twist that to the side again, just so we can get that a little bit here. The big key is this shoulder should stay on the ground. After you've done both of them, then all right guys, let's bring it up to our feet. From there, we're pull that arm across, stretching out the back of the shoulder. Again, same thing here, we're kind of focusing on that shoulder girdle, specifically the back end of it. So back of those shoulders into the very top, maybe the left, but really more, again, back of the shoulder. Switch sides. Then we reach overhead, going for that tricep. So reach behind, guys. We're gonna reach our head over, grab that tricep or that elbow and pull it back with it. So like you're reaching your hand back when you're trying to touch that back shoulder. Again, the big focus here would be the triceps. You might find some people leaning a little bit because we can go tricep and lat by just getting a little bit of lean here. And then switch sides, other side. Again, grab that elbow, pull to the side, get that tricep. Interlock those fingers, turn them inside out, and big reach for the sky, stretching out that core. So again, as we walk them just through those cues, the focus point we would have would be, again, by really trying to reach those fingertips up, so I kind of just elongate the abs as much as I can, really stretching out, when I say core specifically, the ab part of the core on this one. Then grab a wrist and pull it to the side. On this one here, we're going to stretch a lot. So by gently pulling on this wrist, they more than likely are also going to kind of shift the hip the other way. We're going to stretch everything from that elbow all the way down to the hip. So there is a little bit of tricep, a little bit of shoulder, a little bit of lats, and all the way into those obliques. So we're trying to get all of that. Again, just on that gentle stretch. And other side, grab that other wrist, pull that to the side. You may find some clients who also kick this foot back, trying to get a little bit more also into that IT band area. That's fine, but again, the goal again for us would be to focus from the elbow to that hip. Bring your feet together. We're going to keep those legs nice and straight. We're going to pivot at the waist, reaching for those toes, trying not to bend our knees so that we can stretch both the lower back and the back of our legs. So for us as coaches, again, on this one, we're trying not to be here because that would just take all the tension off of the hamstrings. So the legs straight, even if it means they don't get quite as close to the floor. And then again, on this one, our focus is the hamstrings and a little bit of the lower back. We're letting them round their back a little bit on this one because there is no load on it. We're just kind of trying to stretch everything out on both sides of the hip. So again, if you want to take this stretch a little bit deeper, guys, you can reach your hands kind of around your calves and pull your chest towards your knee like you're trying to look right between your knees. Again, this is just for our more flexible clients who want to take that a little bit deeper, just kind of find that spot so they can find that hamstring stretch. Bring your hands to your knees and puff your chest up so we can arch our back the other way. Again, our goal here would just be, again, we work the back from a rounded position, so now we're working the back kind of from that angry cat or that kind of arched position here. So again, just making the spine go from both flexion into extension here on this one. And then one more time, guys. Straighten out the legs, reach for the toes, tuck your chin, and roll it up nice and slow, making your head the last thing to come up. Absolutely fantastic job today, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for whatever that next day's format is. So again, that's how you would walk it through. Just the big cues, guys. You're just kind of in your head. You're kind of counting out that 10 to 12 seconds. Again, you may be talking to them and whatever kind of going on. High five people as you're leaving. You're just gonna, all right, switch sides. Switch sides. All right, we're stretch out that quad. Lay on that hip. Pull your shoe towards your butt. So you're just gonna kind of walk them through each one of the cues again. And anytime there's two coaches, one of the coaches would actually be on the floor doing that one. So most of the time, again, as coach, you'll be on the floor kind of counting on your time. Again, sometimes I know if you're at the end and there's a bunch of rushes, so I'll just, 5:30 a.m. for example, you may be walking them through it as you're also at the door high-fiving that first rush of people that are out and then grabbing some floor space. So I would tell you that most often you probably want to either, if you're a second coach, be right in the center of the room. If you're a solo coach, you probably want to do your stretching kind of more towards the door, because that way you can still grab a couple high fives and you might be sitting down, but again, as people are going by, you can just kind of, hey, have a great day, see you guys tomorrow kind of thing as you're going out through that one, just for that last little detail on this. But the big things, guys, again, is we know that it is not a 30-second stretch. We understand that, all part of the steady coaches. So it's just, as coaches, we know that to keep people out on time here, what we're really trying to do is cool them down more than quote-unquote stretch them out and increase that muscle length on this. So the goal would be to bring the heart rate down if they worked a muscle group, kind of to get a little bit of stretching on that, and think of it more kind of as that really slow flow where there's just a 10-second pause, and then we go to the next one, and there's a 10-second pause, and then we go to the next one. We just keep moving through those moves. This is our cool downs for the spring of 2019.